Nikke just posted the information and skills for the new character SORA. Let's take a look and see what's going on with her. Make sure you guys subscribe and like. Let's go. All right, let's take a look and see what we got going on here.
Nothing can beat the joy of flying. It's the moment you're closest to the light.
I love the song.
Okay, red bottoms. Pop the music on the way, y'all. Okay. The music is crazy.
The brighter the light, the darker the shadow, don't you think? Everyone, we're clear for takeoff.
I know y'all could see that right there, yeah? I know we could see that. All right, so it looks like she has some buffing skills off that. Let's take a look and see what we got going on with her skills now. All right, so SORA is a burst 1 supporter rocket launcher wind character. Obviously, this is a supporter, so we don't need to worry too much about how powerful she is in terms of her damage. Let's just see how good she is with her supports. Let's take a look at her skill 1. Activates when entering battle, affects self. Potency of HP increased by 35.2% continuously. So basically, she has increased healing by 35% continuously for herself. Okay. Her second skill activates when an ally or self destroys an enemy's parts. Affects all allies. Storage stores access healing received by the caster up to 5.36% of their max HP. That stacks up to 5 times for 15 seconds. Not to mention, she gives all allies an attack buff of the caster's attack by 23.74% for 15 seconds. Now, this is if you destroy an enemy's parts, so she's already looking to be a boss type unit, which is like, you know, I don't know if I'd say it's too good or not. Like, I guess technically, you know, Kraken does have a lot of parts and she is wind, so she's going to be type advantage against Kraken. But it's like, if I'm using her against Kraken, all I'm getting realistically is a 23% attack buff of a supporter's attack, which is not going to be as crazy as you guys think. And her burst skill, which is on a 40-second cooldown, affects all allies and it recovers 52.27% of the caster's final max HP as HP and removes 1 debuff. Honestly, this is the easiest skip of 2025. I think this character is just no good whatsoever. To be on a 40-second cooldown and have a 52% healing buff, honestly, this is the easiest skip of you're better off, genuinely, you're better off going for 2B and A2 over this character. That's how bad this character is. Genuinely. Because, yeah, she's a healer, but she's on a 40-second cooldown. It's not good. It's just not good. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I'd say skip. There's nothing here that's, like, it's actually just horrible. She's not competing with much. She's not doing anything that's putting her above anybody. She has nothing, realistically. Like, I think the only thing I could give to her is the fact that she's a healer for a burst 1, but then it's like, how many of those do we have? You know, we have Rapunzel, we have Noise, we have Alice, we have the other Rapunzel to an extent. Like, I feel like there's just so much better characters and it's just like not even a competition. Now, the only thing that this character has that is somewhat useful is technically, yeah, her storage, which, you know, I think storing heal, like being able to store healing is very nice. It's the exact same thing like Marciana, where she can store heals, right? When you use her burst skill, if they're at full HP, you know, she heals them. She's basically giving them more HP. That's how I see it, right? I see this storage heal. I see the storage healing thing as like more HP, right? For whenever you have that up, you have more HP essentially, because all the heals that you're storing up gets converted into HP, right? And then when you take damage, rather than your actual HP taking damage, the stored healing is taking the damage for you. So it's kind of like a shield that does go past your actual HP. It's not like the shields like crowns. I would say it's like a shield that goes past their HP, or a better way to explain it, it's just extra HP that like everybody gets. So I would say that's quite useful, but in her condition, it's like she's a wind character and Kraken has to be the easiest boss. If you understand the gimmick for Kraken, you're never taking damage, for real. Like, the only way you're taking damage in Kraken is if you're at stage 9. If you understand the gimmick of Kraken and you know you do all the things you need to do, you are not taking damage at all. So having that extra healing, and like in her case, I guess being a character for Kraken, is just beyond pointless. You genuinely would get a better, like, you will be better off summoning for A2 or 2B, or just completely skipping all of these characters and saving for the summer characters than summoning for any of these characters, right? I mean, I guess we could also go over what A2 and 2B does, just because, like, you know, they're coming back for the people who don't know. So let's go ahead and do that as well. All right, so we have 2B skills here. 2B is a fire defender burst 3 assault rifle character. Her whole gimmick is that the more HP she has, the more damage she does. So her first skill, depending on how much time she uses her burst skill, she's going to constantly give herself a max HP buff that continuously is on her for the rest of the battle. So the very first time you use her burst skill, she'll give herself a 10% max HP buff for the rest of the battle. The second time you use her burst skill, she will add another 20% on top of that 10%, making 30% continuously for the rest of the battle. And then by the time you use her burst skill the third time, she will add 57% on top of that 30%, bringing it to 88% continuously for, you know, the rest of the battle. Her second skill, she will deal 167% of final attack as damage after she lands 300 normal attacks, and this will affect all enemies. And then when she enters the battle, she will have an attack buff of 6.16% of the caster's final max HP. And because it is a final max HP, the buff that she is getting from her skill 1 will apply into that. So essentially, the more HP she has, the bigger that attack buff is. And then her burst skill is on a 40-second cooldown, where she will deal 2,439% of final attack as distributed damage to all enemies, and then she will deal an additional 792% of final attack to the enemy with the highest HP. So as you guys see, 2B is quite crazy on paper, but the only problem with her is that she takes too long to fully build up. To use 3 of her burst skills means you're going through a total of 6 different burst rotations, and it just takes too long for her to be fully stacked up. But when she is fully stacked up, then you will see her pop off. And then A2 is a attacker burst 3 fire rocket launcher character, and when you use her burst skill, she will give herself a charge damage buff of 110% for 15 seconds and an explosion radius buff of 100% for 15 seconds. And then when she hits an enemy with a full charge, she will deal 30% of final attack as additional damage. And then when she hits an enemy with a full charge, she will give herself a damage to part increase buff of 40% for 3 seconds. And then when you use her burst skill, she will constantly lose HP every 1 second, which is at 4%. But then for that entire time she's losing her HP, she's giving herself a continuous 15% attack buff and 35% charge speed buff. But these buffs will remove once her HP drops to 40%. So yeah, A2 is quite the powerful character. She's really good when it comes to mob clearing. Out of her and 2B, I would say she's more efficient, so I would say to go for her. But I guess I'm not gonna have to do it. Should you summon? If you want the honest answer, do not summon for SORA. Probably do not summon for 2B unless you want her, and then go for A2 if you are looking for meta between the 3. But if not, then do not go for her as well unless you want her. Honestly, if you want my opinion, I would say skip all 3 of them, because we have the summer characters coming back, which Summer Anise might be a part of that. But if not, then it's like this is your last chance to get 2B and A2 as collab characters. So if you want to go for them for that reason specifically, then by all means be my guest. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys gonna summon for A2, SORA, or 2B? It's gonna be your boy Zxous. Like and subscribe. I'm out later. Peace.